Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to this session, which is now about CLAT 2026. तो CLAT 2025 is already over, और बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का क्वेरी भी था कि CLAT 2026 के सेशंस जो हैं उसमें when are we going to start? So we have already started focusing on CLAT 2026. In fact, a lot of sessions have already been done. बट मैं आज बात करने वाला हूं अबाउट द कंप्लीट रोड मैप. सो वी ऑल नो कि क्लैट 2026 विल बी हेल्ड इन द फर्स्ट वीक ऑफ दिसंबर 2025, या ये हो सकता है कि 30th नवंबर को भी हो जाए, बिकॉज 1st दिसंबर इज फॉलिंग ऑन अ मंडे, सो 30th नवंबर कुड बी अ पॉसिबिलिटी. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to help you understand, because I know there are set of students who would be starting their preparation just now, and there are a lot of you who might have already started your preparation. तो आप जैसे ही क्लास 11th में आए थे आपने प्रिपरेशन शुरू कर दिया था, बट बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिन्होंने अभी क्लैट एग्जाम ओवर हुआ उसके अराउंड जितने भी हाइप थे वो सुना, उसको अंडरस्टैंड किया, नाउ दे हैव टेकन अ डिसीजन कि हमें क्लैट की प्रिपरेशन करनी है. But we do understand that less than 12 months are left now for the examination. So, but you are still in class 11th. But इसके बाद अब अभी immediately 2 महीने के बाद you'll move to class 12th. And with class 12th, managing the CLAT preparation is very, very important, because both are demanding, both require your dedication, both require hard work. तो दोनों डिमांडिंग है. क्लास 12th के साथ उसको मैनेज करना है. एग्जाम टाइमिंग ऐसा है कि दिसंबर में एग्जाम हो जाता है, एंड इट इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट क्लैट. एआईएलटी का भी एग्जाम दिसंबर में होता है, और इस साल से तो स्लैट का भी जो एग्जाम है वो दिसंबर में ही हो गया. तो जो सिम्बायोसिस लॉ एडमिशन टेस्ट पहले मई में होता था कई सालों से, वो इस बार उन्होंने भी शिफ्ट कर दिया दिसंबर में, विच मींस 3 ऑफ द बिगेस्ट एंट्रेंसेस विल हैपन इन द मंथ ऑफ दिसंबर. तो आपको सिर्फ क्लैट पे फोकस नहीं करना है, आपको बाकी एग्जाम्स के लिए फोकस करना है. बट एक चीज है कि अगर क्लैट आप ढंग से प्रिपेयर करते हो तो एआईएलटी की प्रिपरेशन वैसी ही हो जाती है. स्लैट मॉक्स लिख करके आप अडेप्ट कर सकते हो. मोर और लेस जो लॉ एंट्रेंसेस हैं टिपिकली देखोगे तो वेरी मच सिमिलर हैं, एक तरीके जैसे ही हैं. थोड़ा डिफरेंस आता है स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर और कुछ टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस को लेकर के. तो मैं इस सेशन के दौरान उन सब के बारे में बात करूंगा, और आई विल हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो एग्जाम्स हैं क्लैट पे अगर हम फोकस रखते हैं तो बाकी एग्जाम्स किस तरीके से कवर होते चले जाएंगे. तो while the session is about a roadmap to CLAT 2026, I'll keep on talking about the other 2 entrances as well. देखो बाकी एग्जाम्स जो हैं वो मई में होते हैं. एमएचसीईटी मई में होगा, अप्रैल में होगा या मई में होगा. आपका जो क्राइस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी का एंट्रेंस है वो भी उसी समय होगा. बट आई नो द फोकस इज डेफिनेटली ऑन क्लैट. जो बड़े नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं उस पर पहले फोकस होना चाहिए, अच्छे कॉलेजेस के ऊपर फोकस होना चाहिए. So we'll understand all this during the course of this session. So what I'll do is I'll begin with a little bit of information about CLAT, and then we'll move to CLAT 2026. क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं, किस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन करना होगा, कितना एफर्ट लगाना होगा, कितने नंबर ऑफ आवर्स लगाने होंगे, और नंबर ऑफ आवर्स की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो उसको नेक्स्ट 11.5 मंथ्स 12 मंथ्स में कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करें ताकि बिल्कुल ही प्रेशर ना आए. और कुछ चीजें हैं जो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूं कि वो अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है आपके प्रिपरेशन टाइम में, तो वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो हैं उनको कैसे यूटिलाइज करना है, क्या है वो अपॉर्चुनिटीज. आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट एवरीथिंग ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ द सेशन. तो लेट्स बिगिन विद अंडरस्टैंडिंग द क्लैट. Very simply, CLAT is a common entrance examination, common law admission test for 25 national law universities. अब फिलहाल अगर हम इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो देयर आर 27 नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटीज. अब इसमें से 2 नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी ऐसे हैं जो क्लैट के अंदर नहीं है. कौन कौन से हैं? एक तो नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी दिल्ली है. ऑब्वियसली नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी दिल्ली का अपना एग्जाम होता है जिसको हम लोग एआईएलटी बुलाते हैं. तो ऑल इंडिया लॉ एंट्रेंस टेस्ट, ये अपना अलग एग्जाम डे 1 से करते आ रहे हैं. Both CLAT and AILT started in the year 2008, but AILT हमेशा से अलग रहा. वो शुरू से ही उन्होंने अपना स्टैंड लिया कि हम CLAT का पार्ट नहीं बनेंगे और हम अपना अलग एग्जाम करेंगे. तो AILT भी दिसंबर में ही होता है, CLAT के नेक्स्ट संडे हो जाता है. इसके अलावा जो NLU शिलोंग है वो अभी क्लैट के अंदर नहीं आया. सो इट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड कि इस साल वो क्लैट के अंदर आ जाते, बट उन्होंने भी अपने आप को अलग रखा हुआ है. सो दे डिड अ एंट्रेंस लास्ट ईयर, तो वो भी शायद अलग रखेंगे. बट देखो अभी नया नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी है तो मैं उसकी बहुत ज्यादा बात नहीं करूंगा. बट एनएलयू दिल्ली डेफिनेटली एक इंपॉर्टेंट नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज है. आई एम श्योर तुम्हारे क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे, तो मैं क्वेश्चंस इस सेशन को कंप्लीट करने के बाद लेता हूं. डोंट स्पैम द इनबॉक्स. तो जैसे किसी ने अभी ऑलरेडी 2 बार एक ही क्वेश्चन डाल दिया है, अगर आप इनबॉक्स स्पैम करोगे चैट बॉक्स को, तो आपका क्वेश्चन मैं डेफिनेटली नहीं पिकअप करूंगा. ठीक है. तो क्लैट 2026 जो होगा वो भी 25 नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज के लिए होगा. और इसके साथ साथ एक और कॉलेज जुड़ गया है एज पार्ट ऑफ द कंसोर्शियम इटसेल्फ, जिसको आप ये कह सकते हो कि वो गोवा का नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी है. एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट IIULER. अब ये IIULER की मैं बात क्यों कर रहा हूँ, आइलर की बात क्यों कर रहा हूँ, इसको स्टार्ट किया है बार काउंसिल ट्रस्ट ने. बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया आप सबने सुना होगा. बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया जो है उसी ने ये रिवोल्यूशन, एक्चुअली दे रेगुलेट द इंटायर लीगल प्रोफेशन इन द कंट्री, बट दे आल्सो रेगुलेट द लीगल एजुकेशन इन द कंट्री. तो ना सिर्फ प्रोफेशन बट एजुकेशन को भी रेगुलेट करता है बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया. और ये जो 5 ईयर का जो कल्चर है ना, वो बार काउंसिल ने ही स्टार्ट किया था 1986 में, जब पहली बार नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी बैंगलोर को एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था. उसी समय ये 5 ईयर करिकुलम भी इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था इन आवर कंट्री. सो Bar Council of India, after a gap of so many years, have come up once again and they have started this college 2 years ago, which is ILR, और ये गोवा में है. तो इसको अभी आप डेफिनेटली कह सकते हो कि नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी गोवा है. एक्चुअली उसको गोवा गवर्नमेंट डेफिनेटली प्रमोट करेगी. जितने भी अपने टॉप लॉ स्कूल्स हैं, टॉप नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, वो सभी क्लैट के अंदर आ जाते हैं. अदर देन दिल्ली, NLS बैंगलोर, नालसा, NUJS कोलकाता, NLU जोधपुर, GNLU, NLIU भोपाल, ये सभी आ जाते हैं. बट इज क्लैट लिमिटेड ओनली टू D25 national universities? No. The CLAT score is also accepted by more than 100 law schools in our country, और जिसमें कई सारे बड़े नाम भी हैं. निर्मा यूनिवर्सिटी हो गया, NMIMS यूनिवर्सिटी मुंबई हो गया, UPS देहरादून है. और जो दिल्ली के स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनके लिए जो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी IP यूनिवर्सिटी अपना एग्जाम अब पिछले 5-6 सालों से नहीं कंडक्ट कर रहा है. पहले कॉमन एंट्रेंस टेस्ट होता था, वो उन्होंने बंद कर दिया है. अगर आप दिल्ली से हो, और मैं दिल्ली से इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि 85% सीट्स IP यूनिवर्सिटी में दिल्ली से रिजर्व्ड हैं, दिल्ली वालों के लिए रिजर्व्ड हैं जिन्होंने 11th और 12th दिल्ली में किया है. तो आपको भी क्लैट ही लिखना पड़ेगा इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू एडमिशन. इसके अलावा और एक बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी है जो क्लैट का एडमिशन, क्लैट के स्कोर को एक्सेप्ट करती है, और वो कौन है? वो है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली. सो जो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी है वो भी क्लैट का स्कोर एक्सेप्ट करती है फॉर देयर 5-year इंटीग्रेटेड लॉ प्रोग्राम, जो उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया है इन द ईयर 2022. तो अभी 2 बैचेस ऑलरेडी एडमिट हो चुके हैं. 3rd बैच इस साल एडमिट होगा जो क्लैट 2025 के बेसिस पर होगा. तो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली ने भी अब 5-year प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया है, और उसका एडमिशन CUET के थ्रू नहीं होगा, उसका एडमिशन क्लैट के थ्रू होगा. अब जो ये क्लैट एग्जाम है, काफी चेंजेस ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं. 2008 में इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया, 2019 तक ऑलमोस्ट एक स्ट्रक्चर पे एग्जाम चला. उसके अंदर थोड़े बहुत चेंजेस होते रहते थे, सरप्राइज एलिमेंट आता रहता था. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट क्लैट 2011, तो 2011 का जो एग्जाम था उसमें रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पूरा का पूरा आया था, उसमें ग्रामर और वोकैब बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते थे. बट अप टू 2019 बाकी साल को देखोगे तो पैसेज एक कंपोनेंट होता था. ज्यादातर आपके वर्बल एबिलिटी को टेस्ट किया जाता था बेस्ड ऑन ग्रामर एंड वोकैबुलरी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. सिमिलरली अगर मैं लॉजिकल रीजनिंग सेक्शन की बात करूं, 2019 तक 40 क्वेश्चंस आते थे, बट उसमें भी एक पैटर्न था. 2008 टू 2012 क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग के ऊपर ज्यादा फोकस था, बट 2013 से लेकर के 2019 एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग के ऊपर उन्होंने बहुत फोकस किया. सो आउट ऑफ 40 क्वेश्चन, 32-33 क्वेश्चंस वुड बी अराउंड एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग. तो एग्जाम में काफी चेंजेस हुए. एंड इन द ईयर 2019, एंड ऑफ 2019, समवेयर अराउंड दिसंबर, दे अनाउंस कि हम पूरा जो पेपर है उसको चेंज करने जा रहे हैं. एंड व्हाट यू सी टुडे, दैट चेंज वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम द ईयर 2020. अनफॉर्चुनेटली 2020 आल्सो मार्क द बिगिनिंग ऑफ कोविड, बट कोविड की वजह से एग्जाम डिले हुआ, बट उन्होंने पैटर्न को वापस चेंज नहीं किया. जो नया पैटर्न उन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया था, जो आप फिलहाल अभी देखते हो, वो 2020 में इंप्लीमेंट हो गया. क्लैट हमेशा से एक अनप्रेडिक्टेबल पेपर रहा है. कुछ ना कुछ एक सर्टेन हद तक, सर्टेन परसेंटेज, you'll always find that unpredictability element. I'm sure इस बार आपने काफी सुना होगा कि पेपर में काफी सारे एरर्स थे, बट एक चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ध्यान रखने वाला, 5 सालों के बाद, आफ्टर अ गैप ऑफ 5 years, Analytical reasoning was introduced in the logical reasoning section in the CLAT paper. IELTS में already आ रहा था, but CLAT paper में it was introduced after 5 years. It's unfortunate thing. If you look at out of the 6 questions which came as a puzzle of analytical reasoning, 4 were wrong. And in fact, those who are aware, those of you who are reading newspaper, you must have read about the Delhi High Court judgment around the CLAT. तो अभी लोग बात कर रहे हैं कि 2025 का रिजल्ट शायद डिले हो जाए. कुछ नहीं होगा, प्रोसेस ऑन है. कुछ लोगों के स्कोर्स चेंज हो जाएंगे, बट वो बहुत फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा उससे. जो टॉप रैंकर्स हैं उनके स्कोर्स ऑलरेडी स्टैब्लिश्ड हैं, तो उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. बट व्हाट आई मीन टू कन्वे हियर इज कि देखो, अनप्रेडिक्टेबल पेपर है, इसलिए आप कभी भी इसको इजी नहीं प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हो, इजी चांसेस नहीं ले सकते हो. आपको थॉरली प्रिपेयर करना होगा और आपको सरप्राइजेस के लिए रेडी रहना होगा. तो इफ यू वांट you perform better in the examination, that requires a lot of hard work over a period of time. Right now is definitely the time you get serious. If you've already started your preparation, or if you're starting your preparation just now, it's time to go full gear actually from here now onwards. तो expected है, देखो 1 दिसंबर को तो इस बार का एग्जाम हुआ. नेक्स्ट ईयर मैं बता रहा हूँ 30 नवंबर हो सकता है या 6 दिसंबर हो सकता है. जीके काफी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल चलता आ रहा है. एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग मैंने बताया 5 सालों के बाद इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ है. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द टाइमिंग इज कि आप जब when you will be taking the examination, that also is the time when you will be appearing for the pre-board examination, because you will be in class 12, you will be appearing for your pre-board examination. Most schools are conducting their pre-board examination around that period, the first pre-board actually. And that is why it becomes more important for you to understand that early start is not a choice now. Early start is a necessity now. अब तुम्हें prepare करना ही होगा. You have to start early. And don't forget the fact that you have your class 12th half yearly examination, you have your pre-boards, some of you are part of extracurriculars, you have MUNs to take care of, you have debates to take care of, you have sports to take care of apart from your studies, and nothing should stop. This does not mean that you will be compromising on your extracurricular activities. Not at all. They are part of your life. They have to be part of your life. You have to now bring a balance to everything. Time management becomes the most important factor for CLAT 2026. इस बात को ध्यान में रखना. CLAT 2026 की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट सबसे बड़ा और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट होगा तुम्हारे प्रिपरेशन में. इस चीज को भूलना नहीं है. तो बहुत सारे हर्डल्स हैं. क्लास 12th में हाफ ईयरली टेस्ट, यूनिट टेस्ट, syllabus burden, everything will happen. But then you have decided, you have taken a chance for this examination, you are going to prepare for it. तो होल हार्टेडली इसके अंदर एंटर कर जाना है. बिल्कुल इसके अंदर होल हार्टेडली एंटर कर जाना. यू कांट वेट फॉर इट एक्चुअली. सो नाउ इज द टाइम to go start your preparation on a very, very serious note. अब देखो CLAT में क्या होता है. CLAT में there are 5 sections. They call it English, but it's reading comprehension. Or last 2 years, in fact, CLAT 2024, which was held in December 2023, they made one more change. Pattern was not changed. The structure of the examination was changed. They reduced the number of questions from 150 to 120. तो एक minor सा change था, but this reduction of the number of questions is actually helping the candidates, because आपके पास जो number of questions reduce हो गए, time उतना ही है, the time remains 120, which means you get more time to read and understand the paper. Earlier there was a pressure out there actually. बहुत ज़्यादा pressure था as compared to now. I'm not saying कि अभी pressure नहीं है, but अभी के मुकाबले, if you talk about the earlier years, there were a lot of pressure as far as time management during the exam was concerned, because student had to solve 150 questions out in just 120 minutes. But now it is 120 questions to be completed in 120 minutes. So there is, like you can say, technically it is about 1 question per minute, which actually may not happen during the exact paper, but that's how you can look into it. So what they did was they reduced the questions in every section by 20%. Now English section is about 24 questions. Usually you have 4 passages, each passage followed by 6 questions. GK here is very, very different. It's not your usual GK you are used to. कि एक question आ गया, उसके अंदर there are 4 choices, you pick up the right choice. Yes, the questions are in that format only, but then that is preceded by a passage out there. And if you look at the paper at a first glance, if you have not seen CLAT, if you have not followed CLAT, The first time when you'll see the CLAT paper, you'll realize everything is reading comprehension. GK is reading comprehension, legal reasoning is reading comprehension, logical reasoning is reading comprehension, quantitative techniques even is reading comprehension. Why I'm saying quantitative techniques is reading comprehension? For a very, very simple reason. What do you mean by quantitative techniques over here? That's the mathematics section of CLAT. Earlier, it was known as elementary mathematics. Now, what do they cover here? They cover caselets over here. They give you data interpretation charts over here. So you may have cases given over here, in a lot of information, numbers given out there, and you have to break that code, which is just like comprehending the information given out there. So entire paper on a first glance will definitely look like a reading comprehension paper. तो चाहे आप लीगल रीजनिंग की बात करो, which is about 32 question, logical reasoning, quantitative techniques, the distribution is like this, and together these two sections constitute 50% of the paper, and this is the unpredictable part of the paper as well. So 25% of the paper technically becomes unpredictable if you have not prepared well for the general knowledge section. It will take a lot of time of yours, but you have to prepare for it actually. Okay. So that's how it should be. Okay, for simple understanding, this is one of the GK passages which appeared this year. I'm sure you guys have seen the paper already. If not, please go to the official website of the CLAT consortium, which is consortium of nlus.ac.in. And if you click on the CLAT 2025 link, you'll see the paper have been released. So consortium of nlus.ac.in, and you can check the 2025 paper. If you click the link on CLAT 2024, you'll get the last year paper as well. तो आपको 2 साल के पेपर तो directly CLAT के portal पर ही मिल जाएंगे. That you should definitely look. Now, if you have gone through this passage and if you have gone through the question, you'll realize the questions do not exactly follow the passage like in the other sections. Here, the passage is setting a context. For example, if I talk about this passage is about BRICS Summit, which was held this year in 2024, where our Prime Minister met the Chinese president as well. Now, if you look at this, the question is asking what was achieved. So if you don't know the outcome of the BRICS Summit, you will definitely struggle to answer this question, because there is a lot which happens during a summit. It's not just about meeting these two leaders. There were other world leaders present as well. So a lot could have happened over there, but you should know exactly what were the outcomes. Similarly, there was a question which was about the Big Cat Alliance. Now, here, there is no mention about big cats as such. They have just given some part of it, but what exactly they do mean by big cats, that's not mentioned. So if you are not well read about all this, you will definitely find it difficult. So GK in today's time, when you look at the CLAT paper, is about not just retaining the data, not just reading the data, not just reading the information, but also about doing an in-depth research around an important topic. So it's very, very important that when you prepare for the GK section of CLAT, you do your own research by identifying the important topics on a daily basis. So when you read newspaper, you'll have to not just read the newspaper from gathering the information, but you'll also have to work on the important topics. On a day, there could be a very important topic. On a day, there could be no important topic as well. So what do they mean by GK over here? They say significant events. So you'll have to work through the events. You'll have to do your own research, which means GK, among the other sections, is one section which will require most of the time during the preparation, but still it can remain uncertain. But GK पे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा effort लगाना पड़ेगा. How many of you have seen the paper? If you've seen the paper, what I did is, for your benefit, I've done a very simple exercise. I copied the paper, put it on the word counter. It's around 11,800 words. That's 12,000 words of reading. Is it just about reading? No, because you have to comprehend the information. You have to remember the information in those 2 hours. You cannot go back to the passage every time. So you have a passage in English. You can't, like, it will look like this. You can't be going. You look at the question. Okay, I'll have to go back to the passage once again. That would be a sheer waste of time. You cannot do that every time. which means your memory has to support you. उस समय एटलीस्ट वो 2 घंटे के लिए तुम्हारी मेमोरी तुम्हारे साथ होना चाहिए, which is comprehension and retention of the information which is there in the passage. Or if you have analyzed the paper, the new design of CLAT, there are 3 critical skills which are getting tested. Number 1 is your reading and comprehension skills. Number 2, your ability to think critically. That's important. And the third one is decision making abilities. When I talk about the legal reasoning section, where you have to identify the principle, the law within the passage, which will help you solve the questions or the situations given out there, which means you will have to take quick decisions out there. So very, very important for you to actually work on the skills, and they will need time. So reading skill requires a lot of time actually to work upon. If you're not already into reading, you have to start it right now. I'll keep it very simple over here. Assume there is a candidate A. So we have 2 candidates appearing for the paper. One is candidate A, the other one is candidate B. Now, candidate A has a reading speed of 200 words per minute, whereas candidate B, I'm being very conservative, candidate B reads around 300 words per minute. Ideally, should be reading 400, but let's say 300 words per minute. Now, in this scenario, what will happen? This person will take almost half the time to read the paper and will have only 60 minutes to solve the paper. But this person can read the entire paper in 40 minutes and will have another 80 minutes available to him or her to solve the paper, to think through and to solve the paper, to work through the answer. So the more your reading speed along with the ability to retain the information, the better your chances will be to solve the paper, which means you have to definitely work on one habit, which is reading habit. तो रीडिंग हैबिट आपको डेफिनेटली इंप्रूव करनी पड़ेगी. इफ इट इज नॉट देयर, देन you'll have to work on developing this habit, which is going to be very, very critical. And where in every paper, because speed is something which is very, very important in all the law entrances. In symbiosis, which is CLAT, you have 60 questions to do in 60 minutes. In AILET, in fact, the time pressure is always there, 150 questions to be done in 120 minutes. In MAHCET examination, you have 150 questions to be done in 120 minutes. So law entrances have always been around time management. तो बहुत important है, prepare करना होगा. So what you should be doing as far as your CLAT preparation for 2026 is concerned, roadmap is very, very important. So first and foremost, you have to make a study plan for yourself. There is no general plan. There is no general strategy. Each one of you have individual abilities. Don't forget the fact. You cannot copy someone else's plan. You have to create your own plan. Let me give you a very simple example. Some of you may have twins, or maybe in the family itself, maybe in relations, or you may have seen in your friend circle twins. But you have definitely observed they behave differently. Their biometrics do not match. They are identical twins, but their biometrics do not match. The fingerprint will come out differently. The retina scan will come out differently. Imagine having the same DNA, but both the person have different biometrics. And you are not having the same DNA, all of you attending the session today, or those who will be watching it later. So please understand, you cannot have same strategy for the examination. You have to work through your own plan. You have to create your own strategy for success in the examination. Let's look at it from a capability perspective. There would be areas where you will be much more comfortable. For example, let's compare with myself. I'm not so good in quantitative techniques, but you will be able to understand it faster, which means when you're preparing for the quantitative technique section for a particular topic, take, like, for example, ratios. Now, you might solve every question within 30 seconds. I may take 5 minutes. So it's all about our capabilities across different areas, but we'll have to definitely improve upon them if I have to write the examination with the sole perspective of cracking the examination and getting into a top national university, which means that you have to fix time on an everyday basis for your CLAT prep. It cannot be I study 10 hours today, give a gap of 2 days, study 10 hours, and ensuring that in a week I'm studying 30 hours. It doesn't work that way. It should be everyday effort. The best scenario should be studying 3 hours a day, for these 7 days, making it 21 hours, or rather studying 10 hours one day of the week, 10 hours another day of the week, and in a week doing 20 hours. That will definitely not work. You have to ensure that you are doing it on a regular basis. And every distraction from here on must be away from your life. So no social medias, no procrastination, no excuses whatsoever. Please understand, CLAT is merely an examination, but it's a path towards a beautiful career. You get into a top law school, you create a beautiful opportunity, a beautiful career opportunity for yourself, and that's the reason you'll be taking the examination. And GK is like diet. You have to eat every day. You don't skip meals. You have to eat every day. तो GK एक मील की तरह है, मील पैटर्न की तरह है. आपको हर रोज थोड़ा 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 कंज्यूम करना पड़ेगा. And then there are opportunities. What's an opportunity? The immediate opportunity coming your way is 25th of December. Now, every holiday, every single day when you are not going to school is an opportunity for you. Typically, you spend 6 to 6.5 hours in school. Then you travel to school, you come back home from school. That could be a minimum 1 hour, or in some cases, even 2 hours, which means on a given day when you are going to school, you are spending literally around 7.5 to 8.5 hours of your day towards your school. But the day you are not going to school, you can pick out time from here, let's say 5 hours, and can spend on your CLAT preparation. The remaining hours, which you are already putting up, that can remain there along with the school curriculum. In both cases, it works beautifully. You get time for your school curriculum as well as CLAT preparation. You get additional time. And these are your opportunities. So Saturday and Sunday, when you are not going to school, that's an opportunity. 25th December is an opportunity. 1st of January is an opportunity. A holy festival is an opportunity. A Dashera, a Diwali, a Raksha Bandhan, the national holidays, 26th January, 15th August, 2nd October. They are all opportunities where you can spend more time towards your studies. You are not going anywhere. So get those opportunities, work towards your advantage. That's very, very important. And don't forget the fact, is the beginning of your preparation. You cannot win the battle of CLAT without quantitative techniques. So if you're not good in quantitative techniques, the allotment will definitely get affected. देखो पिछले कई सालों से ये देखा जा रहा है कि जिनके quantitative techniques भी अच्छे रहे हैं, they are able to score better, and that becomes one of the differentiators in allotment of the CLAT national universities. This year, in the top ranks itself, 0.25 ensured a gap of 8 ranks. 1 point difference in the top ranks. Bangalore and Hyderabad difference I'm talking about. In top ranked NLU 1 and 2. 1 point difference has thrown people away from NLS Bangalore. Just 1 point difference, one mark difference. 0.25 has also done that, but in upgrade can happen. Please understand, every single point matters because there is a negative marking of 0.25 marks. 0.25 as a multiplier is a big enough to throw that change to directed at you, which means quantitative techniques cannot be neglected. You have to work through it. And mathematics is always about practice. Even if you spend 30 minutes a day, that's going to be good enough, because the level you have to cover is what you have done in 9th and 10th. You may not have been that comfortable, but now you'll realize when you start practicing, I can do that. And that is what you need. I can do that attitude is going to be very, very important. So let's talk about section by section before I finally cover your 12-month plan. First and foremost, very, very important to understand, English and logical reasoning, the two sections. This habit is going to be very, very critical. You have to develop your reading habit. And that's across different styles and genres. You cannot say, I don't like philosophy. CLAT will give you passages on philosophy. Then what you will do? You'll leave those 6 questions. I'm not comfortable reading philosophy. I'm not going to read the passage. Good. You don't do it. You are out of the race altogether, because this section is one of the easiest in the paper all the time. You have to read whether you like it or not. And believe me, once you start doing it, you'll start loving it. Necessity will make you love that particular part. So read a philosophy, read economics, read even science-based passages. Very, very important. And side by side, solve passages. Now you can begin with solving, let's say, 10 questions over a period of 15 minutes on a passage or maybe two passages, and gradually try to work towards bringing that time limit down to 5 minutes per passage, not more than that, including reading and solving. So working on the speed is very very critical. और इंग्लिश के लिए बहुत ही सिंपल सा रूल है, जितना आप रीड करोगे, जितना आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे, उतना ही आपका बेटर होता जाएगा ये सेक्शन. तो ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है. टेलिंग यू वंस अगेन, जितने लोग बार बार क्वेश्चन कॉपी पेस्ट करके डाल रहे हैं, रेस्ट अश्योर्ड आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, सो यू हैव डन इट फॉर यू. थैंक यू सो मच. जनरल अवेयरनेस, अगेन रीडिंग हैबिट कम्स टू योर प्ले ओवर हियर, क्योंकि डेली न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है. विच न्यूज़पेपर? यू मस्ट गो फॉर आइदर ऑफ द टू. या तो आप हिंदू पढ़ोगे या आप द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पढ़ोगे. गो अहेड, but read any one. You don't need both. You read one of the two newspaper, whichever you like the writing style, but you'll have to read. And when you are reading, you read the most important news. State news are not going to be important. The city news is not going to be important. So generally in a newspaper, the first page, which carries the most important news, that's important. Your national news becomes important. The international one page, the business, the sports, and the editorial are the most critical page. So typically on a given day, you 6.5 pages of news, and then within that, over a period of time, you learn the trick of identifying the important events. And once you identify the important events, then you do research around that event. For example, currently, what is being talked about? The Lok Sabha, the bill was introduced around one nation, one election. You must research more about one nation, one election. Now, I'm giving you a style, one nation, one election. The topic has been identified. Now, what I will do if I were in your place, I'll not just look at the bill, the elements of the bill. I'll look at who were the committee members who recommended, what are the recommendations. Then I'll talk about when the committee was formed. I'll read more about the earlier elections in our country, right? Like when was the last time we had simultaneous elections happening for the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha and the state assemblies. I'll look at data around the first general election, second general election, because up to fourth general election, it was almost one nation, one election. Are there countries in the world where you still have, like Norway, you still have this scenario, one nation, one election, where elections is happening simultaneously for all the legislatures or assemblies? So in that's the way I will do my research. So read the important news, filter the important topics, and do an extensive research. And we are doing that. Make notes, because tomorrow, after a month's time, you are not going to open the newspaper once again. You will open your notes to revise. Revision is the key, because the paper is still 12 months away. You will forget. Revise करते रहना बहुत ही important है. And one critical data I'm going to share, it has come across, and it's a old information I'm sharing here. If you do not revise within 24 hours, you lose 82%. Revision does not mean reading everything from the scratch. You use those pointers to make those connects and remember it over a period of time. GK is all about consuming that data around important topics. Legal reasoning. Now you go to the CLAT website, they say prior knowledge of law is not required. I'm sure the question is answered through the CLAT 2020 paper. There are at least 10 questions where prior knowledge was of utmost help to the candidates. And if prior knowledge is not required, why you are asking questions around contract or a civil law or a criminal law? Why are you even asking it? They are doing it from day one. Forget about this statement. Please work on the basics of contract, constitution, civil law, and criminal law. Read around the important judgments, the moral issues, the social legal issues in our country. Very, very important. At the same time, solve past year's papers of 2008 to 19, where you'll come across questions which will be structured like principle and fact. The principle is the law, fact is the hypothetical situation. This will help you to understand in the current format where you have a passage, how do you identify the principle? So when you start practicing through the previous paper, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि principle बनते कैसे थे. How the examiner would create that principle in the paper. What was the thought process going in? The moment you get to the core of this, it will become easier for you to crack legal reasoning. तो ये practice का game है. और quantitative techniques तो definitely practice का game है. Work on arithmetic, क्लास 9th एंड 10th लेवल मैथ्स. तो वापस से 9th 10th लेवल का मैथ्स का बुक खोलो. परसेंटेज, रेशियो, मिक्सचर्स, टाइम एंड वर्क, टाइम स्पीड एंड डिस्टेंस, एवरेजेस अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लो. प्रोबेबिलिटी कर लो. दिस विल हेल्प. देखो, क्वांटिटेटिव टेक्निक्स इज ऑल अबाउट प्रैक्टिस. द मोर यू प्रैक्टिस, you will become better day by day. That fear will go away. First of all, keep that fear away. You can do it. ये maths बहुत आसान होता है. People don't touch the section many a times just because of that fear. But the moment you are able to do this, when the moment you are able to do this, you can always do that. Believe me, if you start practicing from tomorrow, it will take 15 days to let go of that fear. Why not do that? So what your plan should look like, roadmap kaisa hone chahiye. December 3 to 4 hours is definitely a possibility. You are going to school January 3 to 4, and then those opportunities. And believe me, I have not counted the number of hours for those opportunities. Today we are talking on 22nd of December. We have 9 more days for this month to get over. 9 days, 4 hours, 36 hours. 31 days, 4 hours, 124 hours. Look at this. 11th exam will happen, but still 11th is not your board exam. 3 to 4 hours can be given. Your biggest opportunity will come here in terms of 35 days. Can you put 7 hours not going to school? 186, 217 hours. That's how. And if you look at this, till 30th November, starting tomorrow morning, you know how many number of hours you'll be able to put to practice? 1,625 hours. I'm not taking into consideration the opportunities, the Diwali, the Dashera, the Holi, the national holidays, the weekends. If you take that into consideration, that would definitely go around 2,000 hours. Will anything be left to crack? I don't think so. But this is all about one thing, which is discipline. Boss, ye follow tabhi hoga jab discipline hoga. Every single day you have to better yourself, and that can only happen when you follow this and you are being disciplined on an everyday basis. Come what may, I'm going to spend my 4 hours on my CLAT prep. I'm going to spend my 4 hours on my school curriculum. That's the kind of rigor, that's the kind of discipline you will need. You will have to let go of every distractions. एक साल पार्टी नहीं करोगे चलेगा, कॉलेज में बहुत पार्टियां मिलेंगी करने को. That is the thought you have to bring in your mind. 1,625 hours. You can't even imagine. Do that, and nothing will stop. And it's always better to learn from the toppers. Go watch the interviews of our topper on this very channel itself. There are more out there. Look at the interview of AIR 17, which I have done with the candidate. Arav ke sath maine khud interview kiya. Definitely watch karo. He was from our online classes, went on to crack the CLAT examination with AIR 17. तो बहुत सारे ऐसे learning opportunities हैं, इनको देखो. It's all about being regular. It's all about being dedicated and being determined. Nobody can stop you from success. Okay. So that's all for today's session. If you want to know more about any of the law entrances, don't forget to follow lawentrance.com. You'll get to know a lot about it. How is Symbiosis Hyderabad? It's a decent option. You can definitely keep that into consideration list. I've solved GK section. That's Pranshi Govil. Wonderful. That's really good. At least you have given that start. Very, very important. How to improve reading with good comprehension. I already spoke about that. Work on that actually. Hi, sir. Which is better, regular or correspondence? Completely legal, not attending school. I don't understand whether you're talking about legal education. Definitely not allowed in India. Legal education is not through correspondence. That is not considered valid. If any college is offering that, that's not allowed. But if you're talking about preparation, I don't recommend that. With school, you must be doing that. School plays a very vital role in one's life. Yes, you can definitely start from scratch. You have a lot of time available out here. There's a lot of time available. Regular versus correspondence. Is it about coaching? If it is about coaching, it depends on your discipline. Please understand. Regular will help you become more disciplined, but if you are self-disciplined, you can go ahead with correspondence. It's your choice. देखो online और correspondence में discipline होना बहुत जरूरी है. आपका discipline होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. Does IELTS have negative marking? Yes, sir. IELTS does. Yes, sure. IELTS does have negative marking. CLAT, AILT have similar negative marking. +1 for every correct answer. You 1/4 deducted for every incorrect attempt. Which book is solving best for solving DI? There are lots of book there, no particular name. You can pick up any actually. How many marks should I get in the mock test at the beginning? It could be even 0, but with an objective of learning the mistakes and improving. Even if you start making just 2.5 points improvement when the mock starts in January, that will take you to 80, 90 very easily. So don't target any specific score, just check your level of understanding, your strategies which might are working or not working, and work on those areas. So don't target any particular score in the beginning. Can reading bowls? Yes, book reading के लिए तो reading करना ही पड़ेगा definitely, like novels, but don't spend too much time into novels itself कि पता चला घर वालों को बोल रहे हैं कि reading novel इसलिए read करें कि क्लैट में अच्छा करना है. ठीक है. नेगेटिव मार्किंग मैंने बता दिया ना. सो +1 -0.25. सो जितने भी क्वेश्चन आपके करेक्ट होंगे उनके लिए आपको 1 मार्क्स मिलते चले जाएंगे. एक भी गलती होगी तो 0.25 डिडक्ट किया जाएगा. सो वेरी सिंपल वे टू लुक एट दिस. लेट्स से यू अटेम्प्टेड 10 क्वेश्चन. Out of that, 8 is correct, 2 is incorrect. So you get first 8 marks, but because 2 is wrong, 0.25 plus 0.25, 0.5 marks have been deducted. Your over score will be 7.5 and not 8. That's how it is. Okay, so analyze your mocks. So देखो mocks analyze करने के लिए बहुत ही critical है 3 aspects. The questions which were correct for you. Now, was it because of the conceptual clarity or the guesswork? So that's one way of looking at it. The second is why a particular question went wrong, whether it was again about the concepts not being in place, or because of spending more time to other question, wasting time, and then creating pressure situation for myself, and then marking it guesswork. The third element is the questions not attempted. They are very, very important. Why you did not attempt those questions? Again, same reasons. Could be your concepts may not be in place, or it could be a very simple reason you wasted a lot of time somewhere else, and hence you could not even read the questions. That would be. No, it's all about developing. I don't recommend any particular books as such. We'll do a session separately, but I don't recommend. But regular schooling or correspondence schooling, regular schooling is always better. You don't learn in correspondence schooling. In quant, do we need to solve one-liner or do we need data interpretation? First, work through the one-liners. I mean, first work through the concepts and then start solving data sets. पहले कॉन्सेप्ट समझ लो यार. कॉन्सेप्ट स्ट्रांग होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. डेटा सेट्स तो सब सॉल्व करोगे जब आपका कॉन्सेप्ट अच्छा होगा. तो बेसिक्स हमेशा अच्छे होने बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है. ओके. हॉलीडे देखो, स्कूल हॉलीडे होमवर्क देगा. जो टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो ना उसको पहले ठीक करो. Everybody wastes a lot of hours. Everybody wastes lots of hours. Delete Facebook, delete WhatsApp, delete what I will say Instagram first. Instagram is a lot of wastage. Delete karo social media, delete friends from your life for the time being, next 11 months. You'll always be able to manage. School will happen. Half yearlies will happen, homeworks will happen, exams will happen. You'll have to maintain that balance. Okay? So everybody is doing that. Na? Even this year, that every student has done that. You are no different. Please understand this. Please understand this. Okay? So I'll take your leave here, and thank you so much for joining in today. So it's now time to go full gear. So full preparation, definitely start karo. Now it's time to go and give your best to the preparation, balancing that time to make a plan today and start your work tomorrow. All the best.